Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Hare Krishna, Devaranjan Prabhu, Rebound. So let us start. We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam 6th Canto, chapter 2nd, and we'll begin with text 2 today. Canto 6. A Jamal delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. Text. Shri Vishnu Duta Uchu. Aho Kashtam Dharma Drisha. Adharma Sprishate Sabham. Yatra Dandeshu Papeshu. Dando Yair Dhriyate. Vishnuduta said, Alas, how painful it is that irreligion is being introduced into an assembly where religion should be maintained. Indeed, those in charge of maintaining the religious principles are needlessly punishing a sinless, unpunishable person. But the Vishnudutas accuse the Yamadutas of violating the religious principles by attempting to drag Ajamila to Yamaraj for punishment. The Yamaraj is the officer appointed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to judge religious and irreligious principles. And to punish people who are irreligious. However, if completely sinless people are punished, the entire assembly of the Yamaraj is contaminated. This principle applies not only in the assembly of Yamaraj, but throughout the human society also. In human society, properly maintaining religious principles is the duty of the king's court or the government. Unfortunately, in this yuga, Kali Yuga, the religious principles are tampered with, and the government cannot judge who is to be punished and who is not. It is said that in the Kali Yuga, if one cannot spend money in court, one cannot get justice. Indeed, in courts of justice, it is often found the magistrates are bribed for favorable judgments. Sometimes religious men who preach the Krishna consciousness movement for the benefit of the entire populace are arrested and harassed by the police and the courts. The Vishnudutas, who are Vaishnavas, lamented for these very regrettable facts. Because of their spiritual compassion for all the fallen souls, Vaishnavas go out to preach according to the standard method of all the religious principles. But unfortunately, because of the influence of Kali Yuga, Vaishnavas who have dedicated their lives to preaching the glories of the Lord are sometimes harassed and punished by the courts on false charges of disturbing the peace. In this particular section, we are learning a very beautiful principle here. We know that human life is a life of responsibility. In general, human life means responsibility. Therefore, we can see that any kind of interaction in this human life is loaded with a lot of responsibility. So what is that responsibility? That responsibility is basically to see, to deal in such a way that people's divine nature can get fueled. And especially as devotees, that our dealings with others should be such that their divine nature is fueled. So therefore, on behalf of the Supreme Lord, as an instrument in the hands of the Supreme Lord, a devotee, his or her job is to find out the spiritual spark in people and to fan out that spiritual spark. That is the idea. Find the spiritual spark and fan that, not simply fluffing around in what is negative. In the Shastras, it is said that in the Shastra there is a criteria, the Vedic culture, there is this criteria that the ruler, who can be a ruler? And now we are here that okay, a devotee can be a ruler, but then the criteria exactly says that a very advanced devotee should be the ruler. That means who can be the best ruler? Only pure devotee can be a best ruler. That is why Brahmaji was after Priyavrat Maharaj. जय श्री श्वेताय चांद और चांद भगवान की जय, श्री जगन्नाथ देव सुभद्र महाराज की, सुदर्शन महाराज की, प्रभुपाद की जय. So, so why Brahmaji was after Priyavrat Maharaj? Now Priyavrat Maharaj was sannyasi sitting in the mountains. Which mountain? Gandhamadar. Uh, Gandhamadar. Gandhamadar mountains. I'm not very sure. Anyways, he was sitting in the. So he was doing his meditation. He was a sannyasi. And it was not recently 1 2 days 5 days 1 week no, before he had come. For ages he was doing meditation because so many dynasties of Dhruv Maharaj passed by. Uttanapad Maharaj is himself the father of now Priyavrat Maharaj is the elder brother of Uttanapad Maharaj. Uttanapad Maharaj, and next came Dhruv Maharaj, and so many dynasties of Dhruv Maharaj passed by. And when there was no qualified ruler, what do we mean by qualification? This qualification is only one thing. The qualification was that they should be pure devotee of the Lord, very advanced devotee. So that's why Brahmaji is seeking this qualification, not managerial qualifications. This qualification is not no how much built the body is, muscles are, and all that. No, this is advancement in Krishna consciousness. That's why Brahmaji went after and sought for Priyavrat Maharaj. And definitely, Priyavrat Maharaj ruled very powerful. Now we may say, okay, I mean, only a pure devotee. Now, why only a pure devotee? Why others cannot do it? Is any problem in others cannot do it? The simple thing, anybody can do it. Many people can do it. Is it not? Many people can do it. There's so many nations, every nation has a prime minister, president or something. So many people can do it. But why the Vedas are talking about only pure devotee, very advanced devotee? The reason is this, what is being highlighted in this conversation. That the more advanced the devotee who is ruling, the more they can find out and fan the spiritual sparks in people. And the less advanced the devotee, the more they will relate with the negative side of people. So they won't be able to help the people much. Only one who can relate to the positive side of people can help those people. But one who relates to the negative side of the people, they cannot help. So that is why, uh, so in this situation, in this episode, we see the Vishnu Dutas are in the position to help because they are able to see the spiritual spark, the positive inside the Ajamil. But the Yamadutas are not used to this kind of vision. Neither they are used to this kind of. The Yamadutas are not that devoted and dedicated. They are not pure devotees. So therefore, the Yamadutas they were not able to see anything positive. Their pointer was stuck up, or that he has done so many sinful activities. They did not see he is crying, calling for Krishna now. They did not see that. But the Vishnudutas could see that. So this is the point. When more and more materialistic people they take to managerial positions and ruling, and what happens is that they are insensitive and neglectful of the populace, of the benefit of the populace. But they're very much focused on their own benefits, driving their own benefits. But they are not at all concerned about the benefit of the populace. To be able to do that, one needs a pure devotee, very advanced devotee. So this is a great lesson, even for all preachers, even for all devotees who want to be instrument in Lord Chaitanya's hand. So we cannot simply, you see, the Yamadutas, they were sort of rejecting and dumping Ajamil. Hey, he's a sinful man, throw him, beat him up. That's what they were about to do. But then they were stopped by the Vishnudutas. So the lesson is what that, don't just reject people and throw them off. But you find out the positive spark and give them opportunity. This is what the Lord did with Ajamil. The Vishnudutas found out the spiritual spark, so they stood for Ajamila to support him because they saw some spiritual spark. And then they gave him opportunity. That, okay, your Kala is deferred. You have some more time. Now run, now you can do more bhakti. And definitely he took benefit of that opportunity. Yes.
So, but in the case of Veda, it was too much out of hand. The Brahmanas didn't practice such a good side because that was completely covered up.
Vena was given opportunity. When at least two times he's given opportunity. The first time he's coronated, that time also the Brahmanas are giving him opportunity. The Brahmanas are teaching him that okay, we are giving you chance, you do nicely and follow dharma. He did not follow. And the Brahmanas gave him warning. But then he had become intoxicated, he was not taking heed of the warning. The Brahmanas said, mind it. It is going too much now. Behave yourself and become dharma parayan. He did not listen. He rather started telling them, don't chant Vishnu's name, start telling my name. This is a law which I have passed in the country and all that. So then the Brahmanas had no choice. So then they killed him.
In the same way, if in our circle, the people, they will not directly say, don't chant Vishnu's name. But they will say, don't be Krishna conscious, be conscious of us all the time.
Hmm.
So, how to keep seeing the positive side of a weak person who is making us, instead of Krishna conscious, making us that person's conscious? Because
No, nobody can. So the whole point is nobody can stop us from practicing Krishna consciousness. One should not make one's practice dependent on others.
But how to protect ourselves from not getting affected?
We just have a giving role to these people. There are different people at different levels. We just have a giving role. We don't associate with them and hear from them and hear what they have to say. We are just there to give Krishna consciousness if they are ready, as much as and whenever they are ready to take it. Again, if one rounder is there, we don't go to that one rounder's home. They may call, oh, please come to my home, I say, okay, okay, yes, I will. So we may not go to his home. We may not spend time with him, that one rounder. But we will, when he comes to the class and temple, we can encourage him. Very nice, you're doing one round. And after some time, we can tell him to do two rounds. That's it. Not that we say that, okay, what is your opinion about, opening a new temple, joining Brahmacharya ashram, being a full-time grihastha and all that. There's no question of any, no. So
means giving, but at the same time creating space.
Yeah. We are only relating with, so the Vishnu Dutas did not take Ajamil to their home. They say, oh, Ajamil, you're so nice. Why don't you come to our home? We'll train you. They did not put him on their head. No. Neither the Vishnu Dutas stayed back in Ajamil's home. Oh, you are sincere, you become devotee. Let us stay together and no. Neither they stayed in his home. They just said, okay, Ajamil. No, they just saved him. They did the job, and they said, okay, now you have time. Better practice now. Better start Krishna consciousness. And they went off. And only in the next 12 years, the Vishnu Dutas never came back. So there was no more need because he had momentum. They could have come back if the candidate did not have momentum, but he had some momentum because of his initial practices. So he could continue. And the Vishnu Dutas only came at the final moment. He said, okay, now we will take it back to God.
How many times Vishnu Dutas will come back? Because if somebody is that Kala drama, how many times Narad Muni came? So like,
Krishna keeps sending. Yeah.
So open.
Yes.
There is no, it's open secret. Anybody can practice with the fullest and experienced joy. It's like you're bringing the horse, bring the water, still the horse doesn't want to drink the water.
Yes, so we keep trying time to time and we pray for these people. And if somebody is not hearing philosophy, we can try to give prasad.
But Vidurji didn't get involved in the battle, so we should not get too involved. So that becomes a problem in our
yeah, we cannot be too involved. We are not, so we can give them some help by which they can take one more step towards Krishna. But that doesn't mean that we start sitting with them where they are. We have to move. We have to move. Similarly, Vidurji was not, no, Vidurji was not saturated with he was not just embracing and sitting with Dhritarashtra. Vidurji was continuing his spiritual journey. Time to time, he was remembering Dhritarashtra. And then time to time was again going and checking and seeing that how we can help. But it's not that Vidurji was dependent on Dhritarashtra for his spiritual advancement. No. So similarly, we should not make ourselves dependent on somebody. And okay, sometimes some people feel if my wife becomes devotee or if my husband becomes devotee, then I'll take it up. That might not happen.
Then Srila Prabhupada would not have started ISKCON.
So sometimes when my parents become favorable and devotee, then I will practice devotion. So that may not happen only. Not only in this life, lifetimes it may not happen. So, but if you want to become a devotee, we can become. It's possible. But if one wants to give excuses, there are 1,000 excuses one can give. So this is the point.
And one more thing I want to ask. The same, they said see the positive side, but then Shachi Mata has so much positive sides. Still, Mahaprabhu to show us the example said, "I will not give up the power because she offended Advaita Acharya." So then, in that context only, it is further said that सबको तो मिलेगा, कपटी को नहीं मिलेगा, and सारे गए माथी लती लग गोर मिलेगा. So
those first times,
weakness of heart and crookedness of heart. Weakness of heart can be seen in the positive side. Crookedness of heart.
yeah. So those past times are highlighting that one should not land up in Vaishnava offense. One should have a simple heart, and one should not land up in Vaishnava offense. So that's all. But here the emphasis more is that okay, what should be a mindset of a preacher? That okay, you see the positive, neglect the negative, and give everyone opportunity and chance. Uh, we don't start driving anybody's life. Prabhupada said everybody has to fly his or her own plane. If we start driving people's lives, we'll become mad. How many people's lives will drive? We say, okay, you don't have job, I'll create job for you. Okay, you don't have house, I'll construct a house for you.
You don't have a match, I'll find.
Yeah, I'll find a match for you. Now, I will nurse your children also. I'll do cleaning for your home also. Then it's foolishness. So, but sometimes we'll end up doing those kind of things, and that is because of aham mameti. That is then again mundane attachment. So it's not attachment. We have to show a serious Krishna conscious example in our own lives, and we have to be available to help people. But they have to drive their own lives, not that we start driving their lives. So, okay, you just relax, and I'll do everything for you. No, it's not possible. Yeah, well, man got attached because he violated this principle. He got stuck up. So we get unnecessarily affected by here and there when we become too attached. So now if you're encouraging people to chant, okay, you can please chant one round. That doesn't mean we also chant only one round. That way. So we should keep going, moving towards Krishna. And whoever, whenever they are available, we encourage them to take further steps towards Krishna. So that candidate may take 2 steps, 2 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps, and then again stop. No problem. Again he gets up, he comes to us, then we tell him how to take the 6, 7, 8, 9 steps. Like that. Further steps towards Krishna.
Role of Vishnu is that Buddha has teacher. Would you include that they have? It was important for us to know that Vishnu Vidya was not living there. If they just gave the input and then they were continuing their service. And then Vidurji was not all the time messing up with Dhritarashtra and the Duryodhana. Time to time he was giving. And same with Balramji also did the same.
Yeah. Harmony also does the same. He's not. He's not staying with them. He's just giving them directions and going. And later he does some follow up. He says, "Hey, so how are you?" Not like that. So
We get believer people who are blinded by false ego. Like Veda was blinded by false ego.
yes, that is correct. So therefore we deal with everyone in humility and we encourage everyone to take further steps towards Krishna. So that's it.
And thank you for pointing out that we don't wait for the other person to get a comment. We should not reduce our movement.
Hmm. That's a that's a point. Let's read further.
भगवद गीता आ गए
प्रजानां पितरो ये च प्रजानां ये च शास्त्रः साधवः समः यदि स्यात् तेषु वैषम्य कं यान्ति शरणं प्रजा A king or a government officer should be so well qualified that he acts as a father, maintainer, and protector of the citizens because of affection and love. He should give the citizens good advice and instructions according to the standard scriptures and should be equal to everyone. Actually, spiritual life is very holistic. See, one is having love for Krishna, and then one has love and compassion for every living entity. But material life is very narrow. So, one is having material love for maybe family, children, and all that. Then that is very narrow. So, what is being talked about here is spiritual love. A king should have that spiritual love for Krishna, so that spiritual love for citizens. Then he can be a proper father, maintainer, protector. Otherwise, he has material love, he'll get attached. And the nature of attachment is you overfeed someone, so that fellow dies, and you underfeed others, those fellows also die. And because of your mess up, you also die. Interesting, no? This is material algorithm, you know? But spiritual algorithm is very nice. So he should give the citizens good advice and instructions according to the standard scriptures and should be equal to everyone. See, a devotee is not a fool. The devotee understands everything. But then still a devotee acts in a very encouraging manner because the devotee is equal to everyone. Which means what? Which means anybody who wants to take Krishna consciousness, we're ready to help them actively. Yeah. So you should give the citizens good advice and instructions according to the standard scriptures and should be equal to everyone. So whoever, whenever they are ready, we help them. We encourage them. Take a step forward. We facilitate that. equal to everyone. Yamaraj does this, for he is the supreme master of justice, and so do those who follow in his footsteps. However, if such persons become polluted and exhibit partiality by punishing an innocent, blameless person, where will the citizens go to take shelter for their maintenance and security? The king, or in modern times, the government should act as the guardian of the citizens by teaching them the proper goal of life. The human form of life is especially meant for realization of oneself and one's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead because this cannot be realized in animal life. The duty of the government, therefore, is to take charge of training all the citizens in such a way that by a gradual process they will be elevated to the spiritual platform and will realize the self and his relationship with God. So Maharaj Yudhishthir, Maharaj Parikshit, Lord Ramachandra, Maharaj Ambarish, Prahlad Maharaj. The leaders of the government were very honest and religious because otherwise all the affairs of the state will suffer. Unfortunately, in the name of democracy, rogues and thieves are electing other rogues and thieves to the most important posts in the government. Recently, this has been proven in America, where the president had to be condemned and dragged down from his post by the citizens. This is only one case, but there are many others. Because of the importance of the Krishna consciousness movement, people should be Krishna conscious and should not vote for anyone who is not Krishna conscious. Then there will be peace and prosperity in the state. When a Vaishnava sees mismanagement in the government, he feels great compassion in his heart and tries his best to purify the situation by spreading the Krishna consciousness movement. Yes. So therefore, you see how the Vishnu Dutas are setting right that objective that okay to be an instrument in the hands of the Lord. The most important qualification or focus is what? That just have the goal of inspiring and helping people move towards Krishna. In fact, this becomes a devotee's constant meditation that okay, how can I give Krishna consciousness to the people around? How can I give Krishna consciousness to more and more people around? That is the devotee's overwhelming focus. That is the devotee's overwhelming focus.
Yes.
Uh, How can I give Krishna consciousness? That is a devotee's meditation. The devotee is always thinking about it. So who is the subject does not matter. What are the previous qualifications of the subject? It doesn't matter. But how can you give Krishna consciousness? That is why you see Prabhupada was so successful because Prabhupada did not reject any of them. Prabhupada understood here everybody is very fallen. So he didn't mind who is in from what background. He just gave them the positive of Krishna consciousness. And sure enough, thousands of people took it up. So never mind what type of people they are. We give Krishna conscious message and then test. That is why, as a devotee, we should never be judgmental. Judgmental on people. So we present Krishna consciousness and then see the reaction. If people are taking it, we can keep on giving. If they are not taking it, we can wait for some time and after some time to follow up. That's the idea. So you see, Srila Prabhupada explaining the purport. These great rulers, their mission was to take people back to Bharat. That was the mission. How to inspire and encourage and facilitate people in their journey back to Bharat. This was the sole mission of administration. This is the sole mission of administration. Administration is for the purpose of enhancing Krishna consciousness. Let's read further. यद्यदाचरति श्रेयान् इतरस्तत्तद् ईहते स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तद् अनुवर्तते. It's very similar to Bhagavad words and meaning also. The mass of people follow the example of a leader in society and imitate his behavior. They accept as evidence whatever the leader accepts. Although Ajamila was not punishable, the Yamadutas were insisting on taking him away to Yamaraj for punishment. This was adharma, contrary to religious principles. The Vishnadutas feared that if such religious principles were allowed, then the management of the human society would be spoiled. In modern times, the Krishna consciousness movement is trying to introduce the right principles of management.
Yes, Prabhuji.
For the human society. But unfortunately, the governments of Kali Yuga do not properly support the Hare Krishna movement because they do not appreciate its valuable service. The Hare Krishna movement is the right movement for ameliorating the fallen condition of the human society, and therefore governments and public leaders in every part of the world should support this movement to completely rectify humanity's sinful condition.
In the last class, there is one more doubt. Okay, we should do the same, try to see the positive side. Then why we just send the kids back? Because they will not handle. Like, the kids who were staying, they were chanting Hare Krishna and they were doing it in church also.
Which kid?
Not- Yes. We have to create space, otherwise we won't be able to get this Krishna. So we are waiting that this is not their age to take, when they'll take.
So why we send Bhaktivedanta children of the Gurukul back? So
That was the right thing done. But
because we understood that hostel is not a proper setup for taking care of them. Small children need their parents. Therefore, we were still not sending the younger children back. We asked their parents if they can send one representative. We'll pay them 20,000 a month plus lodging plus fooding for wife, husband, and their own children. And still they were not ready to come. So nobody came. Then therefore we changed the vision to ourselves going to tribal areas and trying to help. We also felt that okay, people should be in the consciousness of taking it. Like when we are preaching in KGP, also many students have uh, uh, many students have been exposed to so many anarthas. Uh, but then that is not their disqualification because now they are choosing to take to Krishna consciousness, even though they might have had acquaintance with some anarthas. Now they are choosing to take to Krishna consciousness, and that itself is good enough for us to help them because now they're at least they're taking Krishna consciousness seriously. So with those children, we realize that they were not at that stage or that Vivek Shakti or that level of intelligence that they can choose that okay, this is what I choose. But maybe in a later age, those same children, those who are doing nasty activities of child abuse and homosexuality, those same children and pornography and all that, the same children, some of them might understand that this is not proper and they may want to rectify. And at that time, whatever half-hearted or partial-hearted practice of spirituality they did will give them remembrance to come back to Krishna again. And at that stage, helping becomes feasible and possible. So that is why we thought that we will go to those people who have come to this stage. History, we are not bothered about. We are bothered about the present. That because the present sincere practice of Krishna consciousness can wipe off all history. But are they willing to accept it? So that's why we thought that okay, we'll focus on people who are 18 plus of years. And that's why we already started going to Jharkhand. Very soon we will start Sikkim. And we are looking forward to go to Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya also. So we have not given up the mission. Whole life, this life, uh, the tribal mission, health mission will continue. Only we are refining that how we can help in a better way. That is the point. So, so that is the point.
Same way Shiva Prabhupada is attacked by that DP Shiva Prabhupada left in the midnight. He will not think, oh, that time I had to be good to me. Because some extreme behavior makes us that we have to wait.
Yes, we cannot stay with a rowdy person. We can give prasad to a rowdy person, but we cannot stay with a rowdy person.
Or unpredictable person.
Like we cannot take somebody who is rowdy, who is a terrorist, who is such a person and make him stay in the temple. No, that is not possible.
They are honest terrorists. They will not voluntarily come.
So that is not possible. Our culture, our own intrinsic Krishna conscious culture will get spoiled. So who can stay with us? For that we have a little strict criteria. Because they should at least not disturb the vibrations, the spiritual vibrations in the temple setup. So only who are very serious, then they are allowed to stay. Others, what can they practice? Yes, they can practice. They cannot come and stay. They can stay nearby. They can stay wherever they are. They can practice at their pace, and we can encourage them to move, keep taking a step forward. That is the whole point. So uh, we have to understand this principle. Help does not mean that all the negativities and problems of that fellow we put it on our head. Help is help. We have to train people to see Prabhupada is saying training mission. Ours is a training mission. The Vedic system of ruling is a training mission because the the ruler, the Vedic ruler, is training the citizens to take up God consciousness. So, so this is the point. It is our system of training. Why training? Because everybody has to fly their own plane. Everybody has to fly their own plane. That is the point. So that is why we see that uh, and our mission is to encourage people to take the step towards Krishna. That is the point. To encourage people to take the step towards Krishna. Let's read further. यस्यांके शिर आधाय लोका स्वपीति निर्वृतः स्वयं धर्मम् अधर्मं वा नहि वेद यथा पशु स्वगताम् न्यार्पितात्मानं कृतमैत्रम् अचेतनम् विश्रम्भानीय भूतानां स्वगृणो दोग्धमर्हति. People in general are not very advanced in knowledge, by wish to discriminate between religion and irreligion. The innocent, unenlightened citizen is like an ignorant, sleeping animal sleeping in peace with its head on the lap of its master, faithfully believing in the master's protection. If a leader is actually kind hearted and deserves to be the object of the living entity's faith, how can he punish or kill a foolish person who has fully surrendered in good faith and friendship? The Sanskrit word Vishwastghata refers to one who breaks faith or causes a breach of trust. The mass of people should always feel security because of the government's protection. Therefore, how regrettable it is for the government itself to cause a breach of trust and put the citizens in difficulty for political reasons. We actually saw during the partition days in India that although the Hindus and Muslims were living peacefully together, manipulation by politicians suddenly aroused feelings of hatred between them, and thus the Hindus and Muslims killed one another over politics. This is a sign of Kali Yuga. In this age, animals are kept nicely sheltered, completely confident that their masters will protect them, but unfortunately, as soon as the animals are fat, they are immediately sent for slaughter. Such cruelty is condemned by the Vaishnavas like the Vishnudutas. Indeed, the hellish conditions already described await the sinful men responsible for such suffering. One who betrays the confidence of a living entity who takes shelter of him in good faith, whether the living entity be a human being or animal, is extremely sinful. Because such betrayals now go unpunished by the government, all of the human society is terribly contaminated. The people of this age are therefore described as Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagyahi Upadritaha. As a consequence of such sinfulness, men condemned Manda, their intelligence unclear, Sumanda Matayo. They are unfortunate Manda Bhagya, and therefore they are always disturbed by many problems. Upadritaha. This is their situation in this life, and after death they are punished to hellish conditions. You see, the Vishnudutta is a very nice talking about. They are saying the people do not have that Vivek Shakti to discriminate religion from religion. In general, the people have a mentality to cling on to something. In more simpler terms, here the Vishnudutta are saying, they just take a master and they are very peaceful and they don't think much. So that means what? People have a mentality to cling on to someone. They just need something or someone to cling on to. Now what happens is that uh, that's why we see, like say for example, people cling on to say movies, social media. No? They just want something to cling on to. Then they don't question much. Like people are watching movies, and people are not questioning much. They are showing. People start following also. They don't question because there is a tendency to cling on. Yeah, take shelter. So they just find avenues. That's okay, okay, and they just accept. Like somebody showing in the movie, okay, this particular thing, the whole world is accepting. They also accept. They said, okay, I'll also accept. So they're not using. So therefore, it is also in preaching. It is also important to uh, make sure that the no we create a facility where people can cling on to Krishna. That they have the habit of clinging on to something. They have the habit of spending their time and talking about and being with something or the other. But if in that list we can add Krishna in their lives, they cling on to that. People they don't much. They just have to cling on. Sometimes some hodgepodge, deformed, dangerous variations of religion. They are speaking a very obnoxious kind of concept and philosophy. But we see people are following that also. What fool can follow very dangerous kind of in the name of religion? So many dangerous kind of philosophies are there, like becoming a terrorist in the name of religion and all that, doing violence, killing, murdering in the name of yeah. So people are, and many people are following. How dangerous! We see some cheaters in the name of religionists or swamis or uh, uh, they tell their followers, okay, I am Krishna, let us do Rasa Leela. And so many of their followers, they start following, they accept it. What a fool. I mean, what a foolishness. How can somebody be so foolish? Or how can this happen? That what they are speaking and nothing to is the grossest level of sensuality. People are just accepting. Some people they just accept. Why? Because in general, people do not discriminate. What is good, what is bad. Therefore, the Vishnu Duttas are saying that if they have faith in something, then the master has to be very, very kind, like that. So that is why we see in our preaching, we have to create avenues where people can start putting faith. So they need to put faith in something. Now that is the purpose behind, say, a big temple. It is a very nice, big, gorgeous temple. People come there. So they have to go somewhere. If there is some nice temple avenue, they'll come there. If there is no avenue, they'll go to a movie. And just like when they go to a movie, they accept whatever is being shown. Similarly, when they come to temple, they'll accept whatever is being shown. They'll accept Bhagavad Gita, they'll accept Krishna. There's no problem. Like our Janardhan was saying that some acquaintance of him, he was not a devotee. Some acquaintance of him took him to Mayapur. He went to Mayapur. He stayed 1 day, 2 day. After that, that devotee told him, "This dhoti kurta for you. Shave your head and have shika and put tilak and start chanting 16 rounds." She accepted. Huh?
And he came up with the Panch Pradeep, Chamar and all, and like, he started doing Mangalarti and all.
Yeah. So you see the point. So people need some recluse, some shelter. And if we can provide that, people will just accept. Many people.
Like, because it's a simple habit, so you could take it.
Yeah. So in general, people are like that.
If they like, I mean, the words also
Therefore,
talk about innocent animals, but what about the animals like snake and like
therefore, so even Gogara is
wolf? जो भी होता है.
yes, snail and wolf will come too. But let's first, let's first talk about.
wolf का innocent के लाता है, जो आपने बताया था वो खा जाता है अलग से.
Yeah, so the snake wolf will come to. Let us first, in general, we talk about people in general, like that.
क्योंकि एक उड़िया का मतलब वो हाथी से 2 हाथ दो, कुत्ते से 5 हाथ दो, इसलिए एकदम दूर.
Yes, so we'll come to that and let's see. So the point is, therefore, the in general people. So we have to provide avenues, like say for example, Mayapur. Now many people are excited to go to Mayapur because they want to go somewhere. Because they want to go somewhere. You know, Mayapur may not be the most scenic place to go to, but it's a spiritual place, and people know that they're well taken care of there. You see the point? I was just meditating why 30,000 people are coming, per day. Because they're well taken care of. If they want to stay, there is so much staying facility at various rate slabs. People can choose as per their. Somebody wants high fi is there. Somebody wants low scale is there. Somebody wants, everything is there. And they can get nice prasad.
Prasadam also very sulabh.
They get nice prasad. And not just, hotel style, little bit, okay, they can take. The spoon is very big. If you say, alpa diben, ek to diben, mane ek to itna diben, is it not?
Very nice.
Elaborate. Elaborate, not that this kind of that packed plate type of thing, very small, you know, that is very small, very small. Therefore, when we serve prasad, should serve sumptuous. So because people know that they are nicely taken care of, and therefore they are excited to come. They are excited to come, and they know that okay, here the devotees are very nicely taking care of the deities there, and it's a nice spiritual setup. They're serious about it. Therefore, people come. Is it like that? So we will just find some avenue. We have to create avenues by which people can rest on Krishna. Right? So therefore, we see that if people are resting on us, then the person has to be very, very responsible, sensitive, kind-hearted, broad-hearted, like that. What to do with snakes and wolves? So we don't have to do anything with them. Material nature will take care of them, like that. So neither, with snakes and wolves, we don't have to do that follow-up. That's okay. But if they come to temple, they can take prasad, no problem. That's okay. No, that's okay. So we have to see. Therefore, one has to understand this mood. You see how the Vishnu Dutas, they're training the Yamadutas. Because Yamadutas are dealing with a lot of people. So the Vishnu Dutas are training the Yamadutas, Is it not? So that the Yamadutas can understand this, that how when people are relying on someone, then that master has to be very kind-hearted. In terms of giving opportunities. So people may make mistakes, that is okay. Whatever they are doing, that is not very important. Little bit of Krishna consciousness they are able to do. Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahatu bhayat. 240.
Then people will think, why are you doing flowers?
Yes. So, so the message is okay. If little bit bhakti is so powerful, then a lot of bhakti will be how much power? Full bhakti will be how much power? That's why you should do full bhakti like that. So, like sweet, how much sweet we want to take? If nice gajar halwa is there, cooked in ghee and milk, uh, with the dry fruits, roasted for 6 hours in milk, gajar halwa roasted in milk for 6 hours, and 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 hot and like that. So, will we like to take only a teaspoon? Salpam apiyasya dharmasya trayate mahatu bhayat. Will you take only a teaspoon? No, we can take the full bucket also. It's no problem. I'll keep it in fridge every day, heat it and keep taking for next 1 week. All my friends I'll invite, like that. So that is why. So we have to be kind enough to encourage people to make them practice devotional service. Activities of devotional service are purifying. Therefore, we should always be welcoming. We should, uh, and therefore, as preachers also, we should not be prejudiced against people. Oh, he's a very bad guy. No, that bad guy may want some time to become good. That time we can fan that bad guy. Like that. That's the idea. So Jamila was a bad guy But at the present moment, at which Vishnudutas are seeing him, they are able to see that yes, he was a bad guy. He has been a bad guy, but he is developing some desire now to change. So they said, okay, take the opportunity. All the best.
So we do some desire to change. That's the click.
Yes.
That's the click.
That is the
Usually
click.
people don't get a desire to change.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
bad
Because he
guy.
was repentant. That I wasted
No,
my life.
full repentant he became later, seeing the Vishnuduta's mercy. But he got some little inclination, and the Vishnudutas could catch. Full repentant he became later, seeing the mercy and kindness of Vishnudutas. That though I was so fallen, still they accepted me. So let me be upright now.
They became grateful.
Yeah. But why the Vishnudutas came? Because while he was chanting his son's name, uh, because of his previous practice, he started remembering Krishna. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains, because a slight glimpse remembrance of Krishna came because he had a previous practice. When he was chanting his son's name, Narayan, or he was calling out for his son, meaning it to be his son. But in between, some spark of remembrance of Lord Narayan came. And the Vishnu seeing that, immediately they appeared. They said, no, we have to give him a chance. Side now. Move aside. And then seeing the kindness of the Vishnudutas, Ajamil's vision was absolutely clear. Now he is repenting and crying tears. And it is actually the kindness of the Vishnudutas which gave Ajamil that rock solid mountain like determination. So much so that in 12 years of practice, he perfected his life. That is why he is there in the Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is not talking about mundane mumbo jumbo characters. Bhagavatam is talking about Mahabhagavats. Ajamil became a Mahabhagavat. 12 years.
Consistent practice is because of consistent gratitude and repentance of past.
Yes, that is very true. So we can see that there is this. So it is this kindness. That is why Vishnu Dutas are telling the Yamadutas that those in authority should be very kind. Should not be rowdies. Should be very kind. So you see the Vishnudutas, they are telling the Siddhanta to the Yamadutas, they are giving a demonstration to the Yamadutas, and immediately the result was Ajamil was touched, and Ajamil is so much determined now to practice, and Ajamil perfected his life. You see, kindness can move things. Kindness can create wonders.
So there are two final blow.
That is also kindness of Vidurji. And he came all the way. No? Yeah, because he invested also, no? I think he had invested more than 50 years after which he was doing a debit. So like that. We should also be careful before doing a debit. Raishambu says 100 times you should make credits, invest, and then one time you withdraw. Like that. 100 times you invest, one time you withdraw. No? Our case is reverse. And 9 times you withdraw, the 10th time you think, okay, I'm giving you some credit because I have to. Otherwise, more to nahi. Like that. And that is not going to work.
Some people are like you taking credit. Never use the chance for the debit. I want to say Prabhupada mentioned somewhere in Bhagavad Gita stubborn obstinacy.
Yes, not Bhagavad. That teaches a Queen Kunti chapter 2. Nato natyam dharo yatha. So stubborn obstinacy, it is possible to melt that obstinacy by kindness in due course of time. Person may be stubborn, but then something may melt. Good behavior can melt.
What
People.
feelings Bhaktivinoda Thakur want to collect in?
Bilamangal Thakur, you see, Bilamangal Thakur, he had left everything. He was still lusty. Because lust doesn't go away so easily. He entered one house and he was very lustful towards the lady. He wanted to get that lady for enjoyments. And generally, when people are in the mood of sense gratification, then they lose all shame, everything. No? So now the husband came, in the mood that he is the Brahmana, let me serve him. So he's asking, what do you want? I'll give you. I want to serve you. And Vilamangal Thakur is asking, I want the lady to enjoy.
They're walking on the road.
And the Brahmana agreed to that. I mean that the gentleman he agreed to that. You look at the yeah, after consenting with the wife. So you see, the point is that the na, and that gave Bilamangal Thakur the strength. You see, so Bilamangal, yeah. So what gave him that strength to take that determined step? It was the Vaishnav heart of the husband and the lady. So it is, so obviously the activity which was being talked about is an extreme activity, but the point is that Villamangal Thakur is already trying but not able to. But here he saw such a terrific example. He got that determination. Then he took that step of plucking out his eyes. Then he went to Vrindavan. So you see the point that so here the Vishnu is saying that it is this kindness which can actually in due course of time melt people's hearts.
But this cannot be extrapolated or imitated.
Yeah, the activity cannot be. Activity is extreme, but the mentality.
And the husband is trying to protect the wife.
Yes, so everything is arranged by the Lord. They may be understanding that.
Was already doing better. They might be knowing yes, Sadhu could be aware.
Yeah, so something like that. So like I remember sometimes there was a time in voice, so we were crying that we oh, there is too much pressure, morning program is that we were requesting for some relaxation and all, in the full standards and all that. Rai Shampuku said, oh, it is very difficult and all. So maybe devotees can chant 4 rounds, like that, So we just heard that and we thought, "Arey, who is going to chant 4 rounds? So I better follow everything." One time we came up with a proposal that actually before going to college we need to sleep, so and 1 hour sleep is required, So so we proposed the philosophy, the full everything to Brijvasi Prabhu, and he was inspired. He said, "Yes, yes, I think it should be like this. Let us talk to Radhisham Prabhu when he comes." And that he was inspired. He wanted to follow. So what the whole thing was that okay, we said okay, at least 1 hour needed to sleep, 1 hour 15 minutes needed to sleep, and then we can be fresh in the college. So 7:30 college used to start those days. 7:30, 5:30. That was KGP time. Now it is 8 to 6 now. At time 7:30, 5:30. So 7:30 college will start. So he said, okay, 6 o'clock everything should finish. Now, so now 6 o'clock morning program should finish. Not just morning program, prasad also, no? So like that. So we proposed that okay, let us start the morning program at 2:30. That was our proposal. 5 o'clock, everything is over. Like that, then we can take prasad and sleep for 1.5 hours, peacefully sleep, and then get up and then go to college. So very nice, like that. Brajvasi too liked it. So and so we went to Raishampu. Raishampu heard it, everything. He heard all the points and all that. Raishampu was. And Raishampu gave a solution. He said, "Oh, devotees, they're finding a little difficult and all that." So he said, maybe then what can be done is that devotees can be given some time to take rest. Ashempu gave a very nice solution. He was very kind, but his kindness gave us the strength to follow the standard. I mean, we were thinking of, do you think we would have followed the 2:30 standard? We were giving an argument. Prabhuji, anytime you wake up, how does it matter?
मुझे लग रहा था कि कोई इससे भी ज्यादा एक्सट्रोवर्ट भी होगी वो बोलते सुबह उठ के तो दिक्कत होता है रात के 12 बजे से शुरू कर लेंगे 2:30 बजे सोया करते
So Radhesham was concerned about us. See, we were finding difficulty in coming up with various, various newer versions of creative, like that algorithms. But he was hearing, he was understanding, he was feeling the concern. He said, okay, then devotees can take time to take rest. Then he said, okay, then what we can do? He said, then let us not have Bhagavatam class in the morning. He said devotees can just do chanting and small arti, and then they can go and take rest. But then he said that, but everybody should come in the evening for the Bhagavatam class. Then. That they should not bunk then, So then we considered, Bhagavatam class got to the evening, Oh, okay, DK will follow as it is. Like that, That was the point. So we're not having that strength, but the kind of behavior of Radhisham who gave us that strength, We were little cribbing coming up with sometimes, that not this way, that way, this algorithm, that algorithm, So because
True, like if we do the same thing now, then this won't be applicable because devotees will sleep also peacefully and they won't come to evening class. In that time, devotees demanded themselves that they would want to come for the Bhagavatam class and take it in the morning. But if we do this situation now, if we do the same duplicate copy now, it may not be possible. Also, the devotees may actually be wanting to have.
Yeah, so actually, the solution is that therefore there is no stereotype. Nothing is stereotype. So Raishamko could see that okay, we came up with a proposal, but actually that proposal was hard to follow. But we were ready to do that so that we can give justice to spiritual life. At the same time, that need can be fulfilled also. So Raishamko could also see that okay, we had some sincerity. We were not cutting excuses. We were not cribbing in the sense of cutting excuses to run away or to dodge or avoid from it. We were really wanting to integrate that, and we were very young. This is our first year of voice creation. We were very young, and because but there was some spark of sincerity and all that, no? So that's why Risham Prabhu gave the solution. Got the point? No? So that's why he was telling that okay, then if this be the case, you all are wanting to do it, and there is a sincerely wanting. That is the point. Yeah.
It cannot be applied now.
Yeah. It was difficult, therefore we ourselves rejected it because we thought, okay, then in the evening there is follow up, there is prasad, there is so many things are there, and get tired and all that. Then adding, no, and everybody coming at the same time may not work out. Better do it in the morning. The main problem was, see, now the simple solution is that try to sleep early. Sleep early. With us, the problem was that CSE was very hectic. That was the problem. There was no question of sleeping early. If we were very balanced, then 5 days, 2 days we can sleep early in a week, not more than that. By 1 o'clock we were able to sleep. 1 a.m. And we would get up at 3:30. So but there was no choice, there's no option. That is why we're coming up with so many algorithms. So that and this was first time, and we had no example to see. That was another problem. We were first batch, first time, and the voice is created. That also we cannot stay in the voice because there was no space. We used to go and come all 3 times, morning, afternoon, evening, like that. Early morning, 3:30, you would be cycling and going to voice morning program to reach by 4. So life was that is why a little hectic, and we had no examples of devotees to see seniors, So therefore it was difficult. But the kind behavior of the Radhisham Prabhu and the Jyosi Prabhu that gave the determination and this is the point. That is why the Vishnu Dutta is saying, be kind-hearted. That's why Krishna is equal to everyone. You see. So therefore, Krishna is supreme trustworthy shelter. So Krishna is equal to everyone. Krishna will not say, you know, कितने चूहे खा के आए हैं, you know. Krishna doesn't say that. He said, "आ गए, wonderful." You know, so Krishna is so happy and ecstatic. You have come. वो तो कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. That person himself has. देखो प्लेन में बैठने के बाद कूदेगा तो क्या होगा उसका? That only. Is it not? Taking to Krishna consciousness, association devotee like climbing a plane, and the plane is at 40,000 feet above the sea level, and somebody jumps down. What is going to happen to that fellow? We don't have to do anything. That fellow, I mean, that candidate himself or herself has chosen what is going to happen to them. Is it not? We don't have to do anything. Hey, you were like this, like that. So that fellow himself taken an axe and put, this thing, So tomorrow they cry and they come back crying, then we can give them a help. We say, no problem. Now again you can take Krishna consciousness.
So coming and being obedient is conservative method where without surgery we can get rid of our alertness. And then trying to take a shortcut or escape or like becoming a drug resistant case, then a bad surgery happens.
Yes, that's true.
That's what happened in Rahu's case also. It was a very bad surgery.
Yeah, that's true. So that's it for. Ayam hi kritanirvesho Janmakoti amhasamapi Yadvyajahara vivasho Namaswasti ayanam hare. Ajamila had already atoned for all his sinful actions. Indeed, he had atoned not only for sins performed in one life, but for those performed in millions of lives. For in a helpless condition, he chanted the holy name of Narayana. Helpless, shelterless, desperate. Even though he did not chant purely, he chanted without offense, and therefore he is now pure and eligible for liberation. Krishna is not saying therefore he is liberated. He is now eligible for liberation because he expressed a sincere interest. So Ajamil is not liberated at this stage. But because Ajamil helplessly chanted Lord Narayana's names without offenses means he was chanting Narayan and meaning Narayan. Like that. Therefore, it's offenseless. He was not wanting anything. He was just taking shelter helplessly, grabbing onto the lotus feet of Narayan. Because of that kind of proclivity or thought process, Vishnuduta understood that now all his previous sins get dissolved. So that is what we see, that when the spiritual master sees that a living entity is now eager and serious to take a step towards Krishna, the spiritual master gives initiation, where all the previous sins of the candidate they get dissolved. And the candidate is not yet liberated fully in the true sense of the term.
हमने बेटे को बुला रहे थे लेकिन ट्रांसलेटर तो साफ है कि helpless he was calling. So he was calling his son helplessly. He was calling Bhagwan helplessly.
He was calling his son helplessly, and in between, he just remembered Krishna, and he was helpless still. So he called once Krishna helplessly. So he got opportunity to chant more. That remembrance came because of his past practices. It was that remembrance came because of his past. That is the point. That that material education, when that need is there, we'll forget it, and spiritual knowledge, when the need is there, we'll remember it. Other times we will not remember. That is the nature of spiritual knowledge. Okay, let's read further. Yes. The Yamadutas had considered only the external situation of Ajamil. See, since he was extremely sinful throughout his life, they thought he should be taken to Yamaraj and did not know that he had become free from the reactions of his sins. The Vishnudutas therefore instructed that because he had chanted the four syllables of the name Narayan at the time of his death, he was free from sinful reactions. In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes the following verses from the Smriti Shastra. Na mohi yavati shakti pavale nahar tavat kartum na shaknoti patakam pataki nara. Yes. Simply by chanting one holy name of Hari, a sinful man can counteract the reactions of more sins than he is able to commit. अवशेनापि यन्नाम्नि कीर्तिते सर्वपातकैः पुमान् विमुच्यते साद्य सिंहत्रस्ते मृगेरिव. If one chants the holy name of the Lord, even in a helpless condition or without desiring to do so, all the reactions of his sinful life depart, just as when a lion roars, all the small animals flee in fear. This is Garuda Puran. सकृद उच्चरितं येन हरिरिति अक्षरादयम् बद्धा परिकरस्तेन मोक्षाय गमनं प्रति. By once chanting the holy name of the Lord, which consists of the two syllables Hari, one guarantees his path to liberation. These are some of the reasons why the Vishnudutas objected to the Yamadutas taking an Ajamil to the court of Yamaraj. So Ajamil did chant, like that. Therefore, he was given opportunity to chant more. So that is the idea. So the inattentive chanting many times not that beneficial, but at least will give one the opportunity to chant further. Yeah. So here the Vishnudutas are basing that yes, Ajamil did chant in that helpless condition the names of Narayana, and therefore he deserves to be given further chance. Yeah. So he was given further chance. And that is why it is being said here that one holy name of the Lord Hari is so powerful. And that is why Bhagavatam here Prabhupada is explaining that anyhow, even if with less concentration or being defocused also if one chants, still it will be beneficial. So chanting is very powerful. That's the idea. So So one goes anyhow near it, one gets affected by it. What is the effect? The effect will be one gets purified. One gets purified. So it's just like, say, for example, 440 kV, electric line. Now these electric lines are at a very big height. They are at a very big height, no? But the point is that now if somebody touches the electric line, they will die. But somebody comes in the 2 to 20 meters radius also, they will die. They will get just attracted. So in the same way, we see the process of bhakti is very high spiritual line. Uh, it is very high electric line, very high power electric line. So one goes somehow or the other strolling around anyway, somehow or the other one goes around, one will be pulled. So somehow or the other we have to uh, practice the chanting of the holy names and the holy beliefs of Allah. This practice itself can purify, and as the desires get purified, one starts practicing more and more. So little bit practice creates space. That space and then that little bit practice ensures that one is fixed and focused on that stage. And then that stage reveals the next stage and so on. So that is the idea. Okay, so let's stop here for today. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, हरि बोल।